Hi guys, is the world beautiful to you? We always hear others say that. Live stronger for this world, so many beautiful things. But is this world really beautiful, like they say, or not? Today I will take you to a teacher's story. In the movie, Detachment, let's see if the world is always beautiful or if it is not what we imagined. Henry is a middle-aged man. His profession is a teacher. But he is a bland man. He likes to live alone. Don't have any friends. His only relative is his grandfather, who is in the hospital. Grandpa suffers from old age Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes he doesn't even know who you are. Like every day, he all had to take the bus to school. Today is the day Henry has to make a report. He have to teach for a period of 1 month. This school is known as a trash school, because the school is facing closures due to enrollment rates. Low-quality students. The principal tried her best, but still it was no use. The principal met Henry and clarified the whole thing. And tell you that the students here are terrible. Henry always learns about student issues, then began to teach them. After coming to class, a student insulted Henry. A female student, Meredith, spoke up for her teacher, but she was ridiculed by a friend for being fat. Henry angrily kicked him out of class, but then another friend stepped in front of Henry, angrily tossed his briefcase at the door. Henry coldly had an expressionless face and spoke, "I like this briefcase of mine, empty and soulless, so you treat me like that. It doesn't make me uncomfortable either." Lessons passed quickly when the bell rang. All the students left were only Meredith. Henry comforted her, because in this world there are inherently many bad people. It is important to know yourself. Do not let others hurt you. At this time, Henry returned to his office. Here continues to happen. One parent is insulting his female colleague, Sarah, just because she expelled her child, but she does not know that her child has threatened the teacher. Also spit on her face. The boredom of this school. It's not just that the students are poor here, but parents' consciousness is also too bad. So much so that the teachers are tired of this school. Evening after going home, Henry got a call from the hospital. Staff told Henry that his grandfather locked himself in the toilet. Henry very well understood his situation. Every time he got sick, he locked himself in the toilet. He said he didn't want to sleep, because a lot of people sleep without regaining consciousness. After reassuring his grandfather, Henry scolded the nurse. He proved very angry and sad. On the bus home, Henry cried non-stop. This sad life makes him unable to hold his emotions. The village girl was serving the male customer behind. Not only could she not get the money, she was also beaten. Henry found these too familiar to ignore. After getting out, immediately let the other girl follow. She asked why not save her. Henry explained that he was a teacher and had no need. Even advised her not to continue to seduce him. The angry girl started to mock him that he looked old and maybe she would amuse him. But maybe this girl doesn't know. She was touching a very kind uncle. The next day Henry went to the hospital to visit his grandfather. Grandpa was not careful to pee his pants. He lay on the bed continuously talking. Don't want himself to die like that. Does not want to be a burden on Henry. He patted his head comforting him. He said he saw Henry's mother. Henry told his grandfather to tell his mother, everything's fine. The next day, he went for a walk. Met the girl again yesterday. The girl begged Harry for a cigarette, but Henry doesn't smoke. She borrowed some money from Henry, because now she is very hungry. Henry casually said that our family has food, and the girl followed Henry home. He handed her some food and poured a glass of juice. Also found a lot of wounds on her thigh. He knew she was going through things her age shouldn't have done. Henry wants to give her some medicine. The girl walked over to Henry and said it would give him half the price, but Henry said she went to the toilet. Then he helped her with the medicine. In the girl's heart so much loneliness, suffering, suddenly warmed up by Henry's loneliness. After random meetings he also knew that the girl was Erica. He let Erica sleep on the bed and he lay on the floor. At this time, the student Meredith held the camera. Take pictures on the stadium. She likes to go on a tour by herself, because the world in the picture and the real world outside are not the same. At this time a schoolboy caught a cat. He asked his friend to cruelly beat the cat to death. After Henry found out he scolded him. But with Henry's argument, then this is not called scolding but education. The boy said he had no choice. But that's why he turned himself. Become a wet cat in someone else's hand. Henry feeling extremely depressed. This school took his breath away. When he got home, he found Erica practicing. He is very angry. He had told her not to dirty his house. Erica apologized to Henry and said, "I promise I won't do that again." Henry said immediately, "You don't need to promise me. You can do whatever you like, but you can't be here." Erica just kept silent and said nothing more. There I was. Erica asked Henry before bed, "Why did you cry on the bus that day?" But he kept silent and did not answer. The next day Erica came home to cook for him. Henry praised Erica and expressed his gratitude to her, because for a long time no one cooks for him. Suddenly happened. In the morning, Erica also prepares food for Henry. Then he took Erica to the hospital, for blood tests and HIV testing. After that, he also took her to buy gifts. In Henry's mind is a picture of his mother. His memory of his mother is very vague. I know that when I was a child, Mom took him out like he was now with Erica. When two people are together, they feel very free and happy. On the way home, Erica leaned on Henry for a good night's sleep. Not long after the principal was fired, she gave everything to this school. In return, unemployment and broken families. The psychologist is also very angry with the female students. She blamed the female student for constantly doing debauchery. Herself can completely ignore them, but still very interested, and now she understands. These students deserve her to do so. Henry went to the hospital to visit him again. As soon as he entered, he found Erica with his grandfather. Grandfather, while dying, immediately said that he is very sorry for Henry's mother. Your mother's suicide is also related to me. Henry imitated his mother's tone to comfort his grandfather. In the end, he was relieved of his burden and leave this world. After leaving the hospital, Erica asked Henry about his mother's story. Henry told her that his mother took a lot of medicine and died before his eyes. He was 7 years old at that time. I think my mother has run into some unhappy things. Henry back to school. Now Meredith took back a photo. Say this is the picture she took for him, but the man in the picture is not present. Meredith cried and herself couldn't take it anymore. This world is too realistically too cruel and dull. Henry comforted her again. She hugged him and cried, but Henry pushed Meredith away. Now she begged him not to drive her away, but accidentally Sarah entered. She thought Henry was bullying a schoolgirl. This imposition made Henry angry. He smashed the tables and chairs and shouted, "You're not such a pervert." He just wanted to help Meredith. When they got home, Henry called the staff at the welfare hospital to take Erica away. Erica kept crying and apologizing. Hope he keeps her, but Henry let Erica leave. Time passes quickly. Today is Henry's last day of teaching. Meredith was with several friends. Prepare a birthday cake in the schoolyard. Henry wants to get a crumpled cream cake, but Meredith said this was the cake she had prepared herself, and she gave him a cake with a smiley on it. Meredith ate the cake in front of Henry. Then the mouth was filled with blood. Henry really wanted to save her but could not. He felt himself like a body without a soul. Then it was obvious he could hug Meredith, comfort her, so she won't leave this world miserable. The next day Henry visited Erica. Erica saw the person she liked, just ran to hug him. This time, Henry stopped pushing the girl in front of him. When they were children, they were all carefree. Get rid of the pain as an excuse. She relies on, does not know to be independent, only know to miss, do not know how to appreciate. Someone who is brave, not afraid of fighting, thinks that he or she has understood life? But no, life is many times more cruel compared to what you already understand. What makes people the most desperate and cruel? Probably the heart of people. When did you start to endure social rejection? Then respect it and live peacefully with it. So you are truly considered an individual. Loneliness is a simple thing. Everyone needs to learn how to make friends with loneliness, to be stronger yourself. So whether life is beautiful or not, everyone can feel it for themselves.